हरि ओम। ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री हिरण्यगर्भाय नमः। ओम श्री महाविष्णवे नमः। ओम श्री महादेवाय नमः। ओम श्री महादुर्गायै नमः। ओम श्री राम रामाय नमः। ओम श्री सद्गुरवे नमः। ओम सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यंकरवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं। भवानी शङ्करौ वन्दे श्रद्धाविश्वासरूपिणौ याभ्यां विना न पश्यन्ति सिद्धा स्वान्तस्तमीश्वरं। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेदसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीतायाः पतये नमः। बुद्धिर्बलं यशोधैर्यं निर्भयत्वमरोगताम् अजाड्यं वाक्पटुत्वं च हनुमत्स्मरणात् भवेत्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। शङ्करं परमानन्दं ब्रह्मनिष्ठं यतीश्वरं भाष्यभ्रान्तिहरं वन्दे शुद्धज्ञानैकबोधकम्। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ नमः शिवाय 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 ॐ नमः शिवाय। नमः पार्वती पतये। हर हर महादेव। Hari Om, Hari Om. We shall begin with the Shanti mantra. Om Bhadram Karnebhih Shrunuyam Devaah Bhadram Pashyem Makshabhiryajatraah स्थिरैरङ्गैः स्तुष्टुवागंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति न पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्ताक्षो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. We shall chant from the third mantra of the second section of the second chapter. Dhanurgrihitva Upanishadam Mahastram Sharam Yupasanishitam Sandhayita Ayamya Tadbhavagatena Chetasa Laksham Tadevaksharam Somya Vidhi Pranavo Dhanusharo Yatma Brahma Tallakshamuchyate Apramattena Vedhavyam Sharavattanmayo Bhavet Yasmin Dyav Prithvi Chantariksham Otam Manassaha Pranaischa Sarvaihi Tamevaikam Janatha Atmanamanya Vacho Vimunchatha Amrutasya Setuhu Ara iva Ratanabhav Samhata Yatra Nadyah Saishontascharate Bahudha Jayamanaha Om Ittevam Dhyayatha Atmanam Swasti Vapparaya Tamasaparastat Yas Sarvajña Sarvavita Yassesha Mahima Bhuvi Divye Brahmapure Yesha Vyomnyatma Pratishtitaha Manomaya Prana Sharira Neta Pratishtitone Hridayam Sannidhaya Tadvidjnanena Paripashyanti Dhiraha Anandarupam Amrutam Yadvibhati. Hari Om. So in the second section of the second chapter of Mundaka Upanishad, the teacher pointed out the meditation, giving the metaphor of a bow and arrow and the target, that take the bow of Omkar and the arrow of our own inner self, and Brahma is the target. So with full attention and focus, one has to hit that target, understand our oneness with Brahma. Brahma is the one which is supporting the entire creation. Everything is held together by that Brahma. Just as the axle holds the wheel, Brahma also holds the entire Vishwa. Brahma is all-knowing, Sarvajña Sarvavita, and this whole world is the Mahima, the glory of that Brahma. Brahma alone expresses in our mind, in our antakarana, and Brahma alone takes the Sukshma Sharir from one body to another body. So a wise person with the blessings of his teacher comes to realize this blissful Brahma. So tad vijnanena paripashyanti dhiraha ananda rupam amrutam yad vibhati. This Brahma which shines forth is realized by the dhira, wise seeker, with the blessings of his teacher. So now, in the following mantras, the Upanishad is telling us the result of this supreme knowledge. Asya parama atmajnanasya phalam idam abhidiyate. What is the result of atmajnana? once we come to realize ourself, once we gain that direct anubhuti of our own self, what is the result? What happens? That is being revealed in the following mantras. So let us chant mantra number 8. Bhidyate hridaya granthihi छिन्द्यन्ते सर्व संशयाः क्षीयन्ते चास्य कर्माणि तस्मिन् दृष्टे परावरे. Once more. भिद्यते हृदय ग्रन्थिः छिन्द्यन्ते सर्व संशयाः क्षीयन्ते चास्य कर्माणि तस्मिन् दृष्टे परावरे. The teacher says, कि one who comes to see that Supreme Brahma, tasmin drishte. Drishte means one who has gained the direct realization of that Supreme Brahma, which is indicated in so many mantras, which is para and avara, which is beyond all names and forms, and which is also expressing in all names and forms. That is the beauty of that Brahma. Brahma is beyond all names and forms, and Brahma alone expresses through all names and forms. So it depends on what is our drishti. When we have the drishti, the vision of an ignorant jiva, we see these names and forms, we experience this world, but we don't recognize that Brahma. So the outer world alone is experienced. So the reality of the world is not realized, and also the reality of the one who is experiencing is not known. So in the state of ignorance, when we experience this world, we experience dvaita, we experience duality. So our experience is faulty, is wrong. Our experience and our understanding which we have in the state of ignorance is absolutely wrong. And this wrong experiences and faulty understanding gives rise to all our sorrows and suffering, fear, etc., which is called samsara. But when we follow the path shown by the Shastras, first when we follow the path of dharma, to purify our antakarana, thereafter we approach a teacher and gain that self-knowledge. Then we meditate and gain abidance in ourself. Then we become free of this samsara. So tasmin drishte paravare, one who has gained the realization of that para and avara Brahma, higher and lower Brahma, the karana and karya Brahma. Then what happens? Bhidyate hridaya grantihi. All the knots of our heart gets destroyed. Knots of our heart get destroyed. What are these knots and all, we will see. Then chindyante sarva samshayaha. All the samshayas, all the doubts. See, we as an intelligent being, our buddhi wants to understand everything. Whatever we see, hear, taste, touch, we want to know. that thirst for knowledge is there within us, natural thirst to know. And that's how the world of science is also progressing, because constantly there is this question. Just like when Newton was sitting under a tree, the apple fell on his head, and that question came to his mind, that why did this apple fall down? Why didn't it fall up? Means, why didn't it go up in the sky? Why it came down on earth? What is the secret? Because when apple got detached from the tree, the apple could go up also. Why did it come down? So he had this question and he did some experiments and all. And then he came to understand that there is this force of gravity which pulls the apple down towards the earth. So such questionings led to different discoveries and different inventions. Constantly we have questions. And depending on the quality of questions and the level of questions, we pursue to find answers, and we get the answers if we go on the right path. So science tries to find answers through experimentation, through hypotheses, through theories. They come to know the laws of nature. They keep observing the world. The more and more they observe the world, the more and more they come to understand the laws which governs the world. Even the planets which move around the sun, they follow the laws. So if you know the laws, you can discover new things and also understand what is happening. But there are certain questions which are neglected even by the scientist. And one basic question is that who is this I? Who am I? Nan Yar. Who am I? Who am I who is experiencing this world? It's very strange. Before our birth, we don't know where we were or whether we were existing or not. We don't have any recollection. Though some children recollect their past, but many don't remember their past. So we don't know where we were. Then we start experiencing ourselves in a particular body. But exactly who am I? We don't know. We assume something and we just are satisfied with those assumptions. We assume ourselves to be the gross physical body. Though we get separated from the body every now and then. When we go to sleep, the first thing which happens is we get separated from our physical body. So our body is lying on the bed. But we are dreaming that we are swimming in the swimming pool. In the waking state, if somebody asks me, who am I, what are you doing? Then I will tell whatever the body is doing. If the body is walking, I say I am walking. If the body is sitting, I say I am sitting. If the body is jumping, I say I am jumping. If the body is lying down, I say I am lying down. But when I fall asleep, though the body is lying down, if I dream that I am swimming, then I say I am swimming. Though really, if I am the body, I should have said I am lying down. But no, I am say I am swimming. Because I am experiencing myself swimming. But those experiences are created by my mind. So I identify with the mind, and whatever the mind creates, I say I am that. But when the mind goes to sleep, in deep sleep state, even mind is not functioning, so I don't know who am I. Separate from the mind, I don't recognize myself properly. When I wake up, I immediately identify with my gross physical body and all, and don't ask that question, who am I? So we have this fundamental question about our own self. Then we have question about this world. What is this world? From where it came? Who has created this world? Then we have question about God. Who is God? How many gods are there? What is the nature of God? So we have questions about the reality. Also we have questions about dharma. What is right? What is not right? What we should do? What are our duties? They are very complex questions, not very easy to understand. Even wise people, they have difficulty in comprehending the exact nature of dharma. So many questions are there, endless. But all these questions also get dispelled, destroyed. And so many our karmas are there. Our karmas which we carry from our past lives, which gives rise to different results. And because of these karmas, we have to take birth again and again. Infinite karmas are there. Those karmas also get destroyed once we gain that self-knowledge. Through self-knowledge itself, a person becomes free. Doesn't have to do anything. Doesn't have to go anywhere. Doesn't have to change anything. Doesn't have to modify anything. Just by knowing. Knowing means directly realizing, experiencing our own true self. We become free of all our bondage. So let us read Shankaracharya's Bhashya on this mantra and understand. So bhidyate hridaya grantihi. Shankaracharya writes कि भिद्यते हृदय ग्रंथि अविद्या वासना प्रचयो बुद्ध्याश्रयः कामः. What is hridaya granthi? He says they are kama. Kama means desires. Desires themselves are called granthis. Granthis means knots. Knots of our antakkarana. And these knots are there in our buddhi. In our antakkarana, in our buddhi, buddhyashraya kamaha. Kama yasya hridishrita iti shrutyantarat. Hridaya ashrayo aso na atma ashrayah. All these kamnas are supported by our buddhi. They are in the buddhi. They are not in the atma. So, there are infinite kamnas are there. Only when we are in deep sleep, for some time the kamnas are not manifesting. But as soon as we wake up, the desires, they arise and they propel us to perform actions. Our body is inert, is made up of matter. This body is made to work. Our karmendriyas are made to function, work by the kamanas which we have. Kama propels us into action. Even the little actions which we perform, all are propelled by Kama only. So they are like granthis. They are there within. If we study this Kamna, we will find that we have the Kamna for gaining happiness. We want to be happy. We also have Kamna, and we think happiness we will gain by obtaining that object. So we strive to obtain those objects. We think we will gain happiness by going to that place, so we try to go to that place. So we have different ideas about how we will gain happiness, and our body, our mind and all gets engaged in actions to fulfill this kamana. And it is non-stop, it goes on and on. It never stops. Only in deep sleep, for some time, the mind is not functioning, so we don't experience any kamana. But in our waking and dream, the kamanas constantly gets expressed. And these kamanas are born from avidya. I want to be happy, but I am of the nature of happiness. If I am of the nature of happiness, why do I want to be happy? Because I don't know that I am happiness. See, if a person is supremely rich, but still he has got a desire to beg for money, that means he is not aware of his wealth. Similarly, we are not aware of our happiness, therefore we are desiring happiness. We are also not aware of our eternal nature. We are deathless. Not knowing that, we strive to protect ourselves, protect this body. We are of the nature of knowledge, but we don't know, so we strive to gain different types of knowledge. So, all these kamnas are there, which are like knots. They have to be untied. They are all based on avidya. So, this avidya, if it is destroyed, all these kamnas will just fizzle out. They will just get dissolved. They will make no sense. All the kamnas which seems to make lot of sense now will make no sense. It's just like a person who is dreaming may have lot of desire to do something in his dream, but as soon as he wakes up, all those desires make no sense. Similarly, for an enlightened person, all the desires make no sense, because desire for what? Happiness. But I am already happy. I am of the nature of happiness. Desire to protect myself. Nothing can kill me. I am eternal. Desire to gain knowledge. But I am all-knowing. In Gita also, Bhagavan says that a Sthita Prajna is one from whose heart all kamnas have gone away. Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan आत्मन्नेवात्मना तुष्टः स्थितप्रज्ञस्तदोच्यते. Sthitaprajna, enlightened person, is one from whose heart all kamnas have gone, and one who is deeply content in his own self, doesn't require anything else. Actually, there is nothing other than the self, and nothing else is required. So, Hridaya Ashraya Asau Na Atma Ashraya Bhidyate Bhedam Vinasham Ayati. So, all these kamnas, what happened when we come to realize ourselves? What happens to the kamna? They just get destroyed. Bhidyate Vinasham Ayati. They just are not there. No kamnas are there. For I, Satchidananda Swarupa Atma, there is no kamana. Then Chindyante sarva samshayaha, Chindyante sarva neya vishayaha, samshaya, all the doubts about things to be known. Shankaracharya writes कि लौकिका नाम आमरणात्तु गंगा श्रोतोवत pravritta vichedam ayanti. He says for the worldly people, these doubts are there, these questions are there, and Shankaracharya says they are like Ganga Shrotah Vat, like the flow of Gangaji, constantly flowing. You answer one question, and before you get the answer, another question pops up. See, just because many people don't ask questions, that doesn't mean those questions are not there. We are not proactive in asking questions also. That is a intellectual lethargy actually. We just want to just sit and listen to pravachans, but many times we don't want to ask questions. Though in Gita Bhagavan says one should approach the teacher and ask questions. Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. One should ask questions. So there are lots of questions are there. The very fact that we are bound, that means we have questions. If questions are not there, then we will be enlightened only. The very fact that we are bound, that means questions are there. And we should ask those questions and dispel our doubt so that we can narrow down the question, and finally we will reach one question. Who am I? Like Bhagwan Ramana Maharshi Ji had reached one question. He had probably done lot of sadhana and inquiry in his previous life, and when in this life he had this one basic question, ki who am I? Koham. Because all the questions boils down to this one fundamental question only. Who am I? See, many questions we have about the world. Then we have question about the unknown, God, etc. We have question about karma. But all these questions are supported by this I only. Only when I am there, question is there, questions are there. If I myself am not there, questions are not there. So if we inquire and try to understand who is this I, who am I, then all our questions will get resolved automatically. That is the fundamental question. All other questions are just curiosity, inquisitiveness, general knowledge questions, good for some competition, but not for enlightenment. If we want to gain enlightenment, we should ask the question, who am I? And find the answer. Not just ask question and go to sleep, but find the answer. So Shankaracharya ji writes, कि all the questions also get dispelled once we come to know ourselves. So not only the question about who am I goes away, but even question about what is this world, who is God, what is dharma, what is adharma, what is papa, what is punya, what is life, what is death, all questions get dispelled, dissolved when we come to know who am I. So vichinna samshayasya asya. So one whose all samshaya has gone away, all doubts have got dispelled, such a person also becomes free of all karma. Vichinna samshayasya nivritta avidyasya yani vijnana utpattehe prakta nani janmantare cha aparvatta falani jnanotpatti sahabhavini cha kshiyante karmani. So all these karmas which were there performed in our previous life, before gaining knowledge, whatever karmas we had done in this life, or even while pursuing this path, whatever karmas we have done in this life, and all the karmas which we have done in our previous life, all of them just fizzle out. Because all these karmas are also based on the sense of doership. All these karmas are meant for the ignorant jiva. So when that ignorance goes away, sense of doership itself gets destroyed. So all karmas get dissolved. They are no longer there. All karmas except one, na tu etad janmantara janma arambhakani pravritta phalatvat, except the prarabdha karma, means because of which karma we have got this body will continue to exist. An enlightened person body continues to exist. An enlightened person body continues to perform actions. So the enlightened person also walks, talks, eats, sleeps, laughs, cries, does everything. So how does he do? Actually he doesn't do. The body is set into motion due to the prarabdha karma, so it continues to function as per the prarabdha. As per the prarabdha karma, the body, the mind, the senses, the intellect, everything functions automatically by the laws of prakriti. Prakriti kriyamanani gunaik karmani sarvashaha. All karmas are done by this prakriti. Pashyan shranvan sprishan jigran ashnan gachan shvapan shvashan pralapan visrajan grinhan unmishan nimishan napi. All the karmas, little karmas, walking, talking, crying, weeping, laughing, blinking, all karmas just happen, and the enlightened person knows that I am not the doer. Just like the fan is moving, is rotating, but I am not rotating, I am just sitting here quietly. So how does the fan move? It's moving due to electricity. But what if the fan is switched off, even if when it is switched off, it continues to move because of the momentum, and then it stops. Similarly, even after enlightenment, the body continues to function because of the prarabdha karma. And once the prarabdha karma also gets exhausted, then the body also stops functioning. So for an enlightened person, all karmas get destroyed. Though others may see his body functioning, but the enlightened person himself knows that I am not the doer, I am not doing anything. Naiva kinchit karomi iti, I am not doing anything. And when does this happen? Tasmin sarvaneya samsarini paravare, asamsarini paravare. When we come to realize that Sarvadne, that Supreme Brahma who is all knowing, who is a samsari, who is not a samsari, who is paravare, parancha karanat manavaram, karanatmanavaram. Parancha karanat atmana avaram, karyatmana tasmin paravare. It is param with respect to karana. It is the cause. Brahma is the cause of this entire creation. So as a cause, it is param. And Brahma alone is the karya, the effect. So as karya, it is avaram, lower. So it is param and avaram also. It is higher and the lower. That Brahma is beyond names and forms. In Brahma there is no creation. There is no world, there are no jivas, there are nothing in Brahma, in me. Na kaschit jayate jivaha, sambhavo yasya na vidyate, etat tad uttamam satyam yatra kinchit na jayate. Nothing is born in that Brahma. Nothing is born in that Brahma. Then what about all these different forms? All these forms are Brahma only. They are Brahma alone. Those who don't recognize that Brahma looks at this form as though they are different from Brahma. So Brahma is expressing as all this world, and Brahma is also beyond this world. So Brahma is both avara and para, beyond as well as in this world, as this world. So parancha karanatma mana avaram cha karyatmana tasmin paravare sakshad aham asmiti. So in that Brahma, one who understands that Brahma is aham asmi, I am that Brahma. Aham brahmasmi. I means not the ego. I means not the body. I is that inner self which is experienced when I am in deep sleep. In deep sleep, I experience myself free from the gross body as well as the subtle body. That I am Brahma. That I have to realize directly. So Sakshat aham asmi iti drishte samsara karana uchchedan muchyate ityartaha. So the very cause for the samsara get destroyed, therefore he becomes free. So we recognize ourselves now only with respect to the body. But actually I am free from this body. I exist without this body. So I should recognize myself as I am to gain that freedom. So this is what is said. This is a very beautiful mantra. कि भिद्यते हृदय ग्रंथि ही छिन्द्यन्ते सर्व संशयाः क्षीयन्ते च यस्य कर्माणि तस्मिन् दृष्टे परावरे. Now further the Upanishad says, हिरण्मये परे कोशे विरजं ब्रह्म निष्कलं तच्छुभ्रं ज्योतिषां ज्योतिः तद्यदात्मविदो विदुः. हिरण्मये परे कोशे विरजं ब्रह्म निष्कलं तच्छुभ्रं ज्योतिषां ज्योतिः तद्यदात्मविदो विदुः. The same what is conveyed in this mantra, vidyate hridaya granthi, same thing is conveyed now in the following three mantras. So uktasya eva arthasya sankshepaabhidhayaka uttare mantraha trayo api. So in the following three mantras also the same meaning is conveyed briefly. So hiranmaye pare koshe virajam brahma nishkalam. That nishkalam brahma, that supreme brahma which is nishkalam, which doesn't have any parts. Brahma doesn't have any part. So that brahma, nishkalam brahma, hiranmaye pare koshe virajam, which is present, which can be realized in our antakarana, which is indicated here as hiranmaye pare koshe, brilliant kosha, like a seat, like a container in which that Brahma can be recognized. Tat Shubhram, that Brahma is Shubhram, extremely pure. Jyotisham Jyotihi, it is the light of the light. Yad Atma Vido Viduhu, that which is known by the Atmavit, those who know their self, they know Brahma, they recognize that Brahma. Shankaracharya ji writes in his commentary कि हिरणमये ज्योतिर्मये बुद्धि विज्ञान प्रकाशे. See that Atma is of the nature of that supreme light, means it is of the nature of knowledge. Because of the presence of that Atma alone, our buddhi also appears illumined, means buddhi also gets the power to know. See, just like the sun is self-luminous. Nobody illumines the sun. The light of the sun belongs to the sun only. But when we look at the moon at night, the full moon, which illumines the whole world, that moon, though it appears so luminous, that light doesn't belong to the moon. It belongs to the sun. Similarly, our buddhi, like the moon, illumines this world, means understands this world. This world is known to the buddhi, through the buddhi. We know this world. But that buddhi also is inert. Buddhi is also matter, subtle matter. So how it can illumine it illumines because of the presence of that Brahma. So buddhi also becomes luminous. Just like when we see the reflection of the sun in the bucket of water. In the waters, when we see the reflection, the waters also shine. That shine doesn't belong to the water, it belongs to the sun, but because of the presence of the sun, the water appears to be shining. Similarly, our buddhi appears to be shining. All the thoughts appear to be shining because of the presence of that Brahma. Therefore, this buddhi is indicated here as Hiranmaya, shining. Hiranmaye buddhi vijnana prakashe pare koshe, which is also the supreme kosha. Kosha iva asehe. Just like we keep a talwar, a sword in a sheath. Similarly, this buddhi is like a sheath, which is the innermost, in which we can experience our own self. Therefore, our self is as though kept in this buddhi. Buddhi is like a vessel in which our self is as though kept. Means the self can be realized in the buddhi. So, pare koshe Atma Swarupa Upalabdhi Sthanatvat. It is called Param Kosha. This buddhi itself is called Param Kosha because it is the place where we can realize our own self. See, again, when we are in deep sleep, if we think about it, at that time, though I was present, but there was as though no experience, there was not even the experience of I, because the buddhi was not there, buddhi was not functioning. So even the experience, the thought of I was not there, but I was there. I, the Atma, was present in deep sleep, but the thought of I was not there because buddhi was not functioning. But when the buddhi wakes up, then the I thought also wakes up, and in that I thought, my presence is there. Because of my presence only, there is this I thought. So, in the buddhi, that I thought is like a place where I can realize myself. I get the opportunity to recognize myself. See, it's like the mirror. Though my face is there, but I don't see my face. That is very paradoxical. All of us, we have our face, but we can't see our face. With our eyes we can see the whole world, but we can't see our own face. But there is something which will help us to see our face, and that is a mirror. So when we look into the mirror, we can see our face. So mirror gives an opportunity for me to see my face. Mirror gives me an opportunity to see my face. Similarly, our buddhi is like a mirror which gives me an opportunity to see myself. Therefore, the Upanishad, they say that purify your buddhi, make it single pointed, and with the help of your buddhi you can recognize yourself. Manasa eva vaptavyam. With a with our mind, with our buddhi only, we can see ourselves, know ourselves. And once we know ourselves with the buddhi, then we meditate and be ourselves. With the buddhi, you know yourself, and through meditation, you be yourself. With the mirror, you see yourself, but just to be your own face, you don't require the mirror also. Once you have seen your face, then you know. Before taking our photograph and all, we just look into the mirror and just correct our hairs and all those things. Then we don't look at the mirror because we know who we are. We know how we look. Then we don't require the mirror. Similarly, once we know who we are through the buddhi, then we don't require the buddhi. Then just meditate and be yourself. Be as you are. Just be. So, Atmaswarupa Upalabdhi Sthanatvat. So, Param Tat Sarva Abhyantaratvat. Tasmin. So, this buddhi which is very inner, in which we can experience ourselves the closest. So, with the help of this buddhi, we have to recognize ourselves. So, Hiranmaye Pare Koshe, in this buddhi which is Hiranmaye Pare Koshe, that Brahma is there. And how is that Brahma? Virajam, free from all impurities. There are no impurities in Brahma. Means no impurities can touch that Brahma. Even if the buddhi is impure, it will not touch Brahma. Even if the mirror has got some defect and some dust and all, it will not affect our face. It will affect how the face is seen. Face may appear little crooked, but face doesn't really become crooked. The defect of the mirror doesn't create any defect in my face. So, that Brahma is Virajam, free from all Raja, free from all impurities. And what are the impurities? Avidyadi, Ashesha Dosha, Raja, Malavarjitam, like avidya and other impurities are not there in Brahma. Therefore it is Virajam. Brahma Sarva Mahatvat Sarvatmatvatcha. Why it is called Brahma? Because it is big, it is large, it is vast. It is of the nature of, it is the self of all. Therefore it is called Brahma. Sarva Mahatvat Sarva Atmatvatcha. Nishkalam, there are no kala, there are no divisions, there are no facets in Brahma. It is one, homogeneous. So, nirgata kala yasmat tat nishkalam niravayam ityartaha. Such a Brahma, one has to realize as our own self. More about this we will see in our class tomorrow. Okay, some more portion of this mantra is still remaining. We will see in our class tomorrow. So till then you take care, be happy, safe, peaceful, healthy. Do your work, do your sadhana. Listen to the pravachan again. No harm in listening to it again. If we overeat, then it might be harmful for our body. But if we over listen, it won't be so harmful. Things will become more clear. Okay? And we will meet again tomorrow. Hari Om. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. 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 Jaya Jaya Ram. Jaya Jaya Ram. Boliye Siyavar Ramachandra Bhagwan ki Jai. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.